dick! Don't go to Chris's stream, tagged me in it, and said, go to mine, I have Slay the Spire. Piece of human trash. I'm gonna find out where you fucking live, hombre.
Well, I can confirm both are live.
Yeah! Yeah, I fucking bet! Oh my god.
It's a good day. It's a good day.
No, that's Ice Cube.
Oh, you're right.
We're talking about Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Doggy Dogg. Alright,
Just
so...
be like me, don't even pretend to know rap. Come on.
Hey, I know...
Well, that's the thing, I know it by proxy.
I know a lot of Kanye West, and that's about it.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Like, all I know is Tupac, Eminem, and Nice Peter. That's it.
Is Peter really that
Wait,
nice?
Jerry's having a kid?
What? Really?
Wait. One of the epic rap guys just found out he's having a baby girl.
It's either him or Epic Lloyd, then.
Yeah, I'm actually really happy for him.
Oh, that's cool. I'm still waiting for the new Epic Rap Battle to come out.
They are actually planning stuff. It's been because he's been starting a family that they're like, hey, let's, like, figure this out later.
Okay,
You can't
okay.
give them just a legacy of Darth Vader rapping against Hitler.
Yeah, right?
Oh, we could though.
It would be quite the legacy to inherit.
It would be. Alright, so, shall we get started?
Yeah, I'll kick us off if Chris doesn't feel like doing it today or wants to change it up.
Can you...
Change it up. You do it.
Alright.
Wait, can you pull off the Dragon Ball Z voice?
No, I'm not doing the Dragon Ball Z voice, Eric!
Save it for a special occasion. Maybe Fighter Z has a topic other than thick androids.
Yeah, we'll save that for, like, our post 1 week, retrospective.
Okay.
Okay, so anyway, this is Louder Than Podcast. I'm not as velvety voiced as our co-host over here, but whatever, you're stuck with me. So,
Don't even tell yourself.
yeah, I know. No, man, low expectations. Isn't that what we're talking about today?
No, high
So
expectations
anyway.
and then falling short of them.
It's so me. Anyway, I'm Chris, joined by Chris,
The original VO for the voiceover intro.
Eric, who can
Hello.
go fuck himself.
I have no idea what you're talking about.
Shut up! And Taylor.
Hi.
Okay, so we're going to be talking about a couple nice things, a couple not so nice things. Well, more like one nice thing, one not so nice thing, and a possibly nice thing. So we'll start with the not
And potentially
so nice
cardboard
thing.
if we have enough time.
Yes,
Has to be fun.
So let's start with Eric and Chris have been discussing some stuff that Blizzard decided they wanted to pull, and we all have thoughts. Chris, since you were the one who found the story, why don't you
Okay, when I originally found this, it wasn't even a story. It only broke, if you want to say that, this morning when we started getting articles from different journalist sites. Last night, it was just a developer update for Overwatch.
Well, I would consider that like on-the-scene research.
All right, then. You're lowering the bar just enough for me to fit in. Anyway, Blizzard put out a developer update, and the first topic they addressed was their ongoing efforts to combat toxicity in their online communities. Jeff Kaplan was speaking how, I'm just going to give you a general breakdown. If you want to look at it, the video is readily available on their YouTube, and it starts like a minute and a half in.
Mm-hmm.
And
it was uploaded yesterday, correct?
yet the story is not even 24 hours old.
Yeah, so you could just search for like the most recent developer update, and you'll find it.
Yep. So in synopsis, Blizzard is actively seeking out the social media activities of those who have linked their accounts to their Battle.net in an attempt to preempt possible toxicity or other punishable offenses. However, there is no transparency as to what constitutes a punishable offense in a Blizzard game, or could be putting you in low priority queues or even banning you on the accusation of toxicity.
And Chris, why don't you specify the one thing that really made us uncomfortable that Jeff specified in his little spiel?
Only
About-
specify one thing?
Well, no, I mean like the thing he said about not revealing their methodry.
I'm just gonna pull up the quote then so I can get it right.
Yeah, because that was the big thing that you said really upset you, and I agreed.
That is really, this is like all a little too much. I'm not gonna lie. Like,
where is that quote? And
it's kind of scary having like someone over your shoulder all the time for something you're supposed to relax in.
Well, that's the thing. Okay, here, go ahead.
Often action them before anyone's even reported them.
And specifically that they intend to keep everything under wraps to the point where you aren't supposed to know what you're getting, like.
Yeah, the other quote is a lot of these we don't like to talk. A lot of these we don't like to talk about because we don't want players gaming the system or knowing what we catch you for or action you for. Basically, they want to punish you for actions that you cannot know before you commit them.
Seems fair.
Which is unfair because, you know, it's one thing to be like, oh, hey, sorry, like, you know, I know the rules, but I was a dick anyway, versus this situation, which is, I didn't know I was being a dick. I mean, granted, yes, there's going to be people who think, oh, you were being a dick, you weren't being a dick, whatever, but when you factually have no access to what constitutes you having done something wrong or not in the terms of service, you can't really call it a fair punishment.
It kind of feels... Oh, you go.
Okay. To play devil's advocate a little bit, to speak for, like, in favor of Blizzard, I think, like, and, you know, like we were saying before, they weren't completely transparent about exactly, like, everything. It was, Jeff spoke about it in, like, the vaguest terms possible, obviously, because that's what he's supposed to do.
Right.
But, you know, we're not really sure, are they just tracking the things that you're doing in Overwatch? For example, if you would, like, you know, record yourself playing purposefully, like, trying to, like, troll people in comp, and, like...
So you're saying, are they reviewing your entire YouTube channel, or just in-game footage of you?
Right, like, if you post a video of yourself, playing, and, you know, you title the video something like, throwing comp games on purpose, you know, you're, like, doing... that is something that constitutes...
The only noted improvement they're willing to disclose right now is a reduction in chat toxicity. Things like deliberately throwing a game or quitting out of comp to screw over your teammates. Mm-hmm. That's not been improved at all.
I have a question.
It's just a matter of people not typing it out as angrily.
So do we know if they're going to do this through, like, bots, or they're going to actually have someone sifting through people's social medias?
Well, that's actually a good point, because we've seen how well that's worked out for YouTube.
Yeah.
Spoilers, it hasn't.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
And also, when you, like, reporting someone in-game for what they call, like, abusive chat, that also includes, voice chat. It's not just text only. So that's kind of something to note, because, like, I can't tell you how many times I've, like, not to me personally, but just heard some of like the worst profanities you could, like, say to a stranger, and
or anybody for that matter.
Well, yeah,
it doesn't matter if they're a stranger.
I don't know if it's just because of the parts I play, but I play healer in most of these games, and I get a lot of that shit.
Yeah, me too. I mean,
I'm
support
pretty sure
and comp.
just
It's kind of rough
right now if I actually repeated it. It's like George Carlin's list of 7 dirty words doesn't have shit on what I've been hearing.
Yeah. Exactly.
Like, healers
You're
always
called
get
slurs for races that don't even apply to you. Like,
it's like, I'm pretty sure you just implied I'm from 7 different countries and I have every sexuality on Earth. Is there anything else?
Oh, and one of the things that they that Jeff, like, mentioned in that video was the pop-ups that players will get saying, like, action was taken against someone you reported. I've run into that a couple of times, because I try to, like, be pretty, like,
proactive.
Yeah, proactive with the reporting. You know, like, if someone, it's, like, clearly, you know, they say don't report somebody if they're just not playing well. That doesn't constitute, you know, throwing a game. And just because somebody picks a specific character that you don't like, you know.
Because, like, someone picking Torbjorn on offense is not a flag-worthy offense. It's
exactly.
Just, you don't have a way to
right, like, there is still the nature of you are playing a competitive game with strangers on your team. Like, that's part of the risk. If you don't like it, you have to get a team. Like,
and I've like it always pops up like first thing when you log in. It says like dear whatever your username is, and it says that like some type of action has been taken against one of the players you've reported in the past, and like they thank you for like taking the time to do it and such.
It only took them a year and a half to bring that to console.
Yeah, I don't really know why.
My best guess is that it was Sony and Microsoft that were holding that up, but I digress.
It wouldn't be a surprise. But yeah, like, I don't know. I'm all for, like, oh, this is our game, we want to take care of our community. That's fine, and it's commendable. But, like, you don't have to be so gung-ho about it that, like, you're starting to track people down outside the game. Whether you like it or not, they're not in your game. Just leave them alone. Like, if you get reported because of a YouTube video you made, like, I don't know, that hardly seems fair to me.
Like, if it sounds really, like, it kind of gets thrown around a lot, but, like, kind of Orwell-esque, if you know what I mean?
I know what you mean. Like, Orwellian is a term that a lot of people get sick of, but
it gets used as often as Lovecraft nowadays.
Yeah.
But, like, the idea is, like, hey, we're always watching you, even for something you enjoy.
Right, and, like, granted, yes, that footage, if you're uploading it, it's public anyway, but it's the idea that, like, you shouldn't be expected to get banned for something if you didn't do it inside the game, you know?
But I still don't think that's what they're doing.
Wait, is this for all players or just, like... Wait, I got a question. Is this for all players or just, ML, like, Major League Gaming players?
No, in general.
Okay. They also said that this has been in effect for a while now. It is not just they started it with the developer announcement. This has been their process, which is how they're justifying the recent results.
What if you... I'm just... This is off the top of my head. I don't think this is, like, an everyman situation, but there's plenty of, content creators who play characters. Like, I mean, granted, yes, he's been banned from Twitch, but look at Dr. Disrespect, right? His whole shtick is like, yeah, he's like this gung-ho gamer man who fucking screams at people, but he's not actually, like... It's not meant to be taken that seriously. So what if you have a channel like that, and in-game you're perfectly reasonable. You're not rude in chat, you're not yelling at people, but in your video you're like, oh, come on, man, what kind of fucking play was that? But like, oh, hey, man, I'm not actually, like, doing this. It's just for comedy and entertainment. Like, what if Blizzard decides to take that as, oh, you're being an abusive asshole while you're playing our game? You're banned.
I think in a situation like that, if like the profanity and stuff was just like to your stream but wasn't actually in like your in-game voice chat, I think that's different.
Yeah, I just don't like it being an allowed thing or an encouraged thing for them to fucking track you down like that. That's creepy to me.
Especially with Blizzard going the esports route recently, I think they want to be as market friendly as possible and try to avoid as much controversy as possible. So it's not just going to
which
be
often means
like, it's not going to be accusations of violence or profanity that are going to get you in game. It's going to be potentially anything remotely controversial. And I would love to do something other than speculate and have an example to point to, but they're not being transparent with it.
Well, and hopefully now, because since that video has only been out for like 24 hours or whatever, they're
probably hearing all this.
Jeff specifically is like they're pretty respondent to like the community's comments.
And the weird thing is more blog readers that are outraged than Overwatch players. They're more angry about the mercy nerfs and the latest Blizzard world.
Well, right. It's because a lot of the bloggers and stuff, which admittedly we fall into that same kind of category. We are. Some of it may be justified, some of it isn't.
Assholes.
Well, that too, but like I think also like some of us are still maybe right, maybe wrong, but thinking of the whole DLC thing, and look what happened when it was just innocent add-on content, and now it's being withheld from most games. It's like, what happens when this goes from, oh, we're just trying to protect our game audience to, oh, we don't like you, we're banning you. I don't like being slippery slope because it is a fallacy, but. At the same time, I know bullshit when I smell it.
I don't know, maybe this is me being too speculative. Maybe rein me in if I'm going too far.
Yeah.
I don't think this is a slippery slope because we had that case last year with Wizards of the Coast banning
Magic
the Gathering Online players for activities that took place outside the game. That is a precedent that has been set, and if Blizzard's not willing to set it, they might be willing to uphold it.
That's fair.
And like I was saying before, the initial impression I got from the whole thing is that it's they're trying to be more like it's your actions within the game. Like they don't care if you're a piece of shit in real life as long as you're not like that in their game. But who knows with all of like I'm sure they're getting tons of backlash from the video, and maybe they'll even make a follow-up or even like, you know, an official forum post or something to be more like elaborate about what they really mean by all of this.
Yeah, I mean, that's valid. I do think, though, that, like, it's kind of silly to set rules for players, but then not tell them what the rules are.
Yeah. I agree.
So, this has been... They've been using this for a while now, though, you said, right?
Don't know how long, but...
All they said is that they've
But supposedly longer than this.
They've documented a 17% improvement in recent memory. I'm guessing, again, because they're not giving us all the details, that this has been since the last competitive season. So let's say 2-3 months.
Okay.
Yeah, and they said that there has been, since they started giving those like notices to players saying like, hey, action was actually taken for something you did, there's been, like you said, some kind of percentage increase in the number of reportings.
It's a positive reaffirmation of one's own actions. It's the same as like the medals at the end of an Overwatch match. It's letting you know you did something.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's just tough. I mean, like, I am all for, you know, being a dick in an online game isn't helping anybody, but at the same time, you have to keep things pretty fair for you to be, you know, taking action against in-game is fine, but let people be people at the same time, you know? Outside of that, if they're gonna make content or if they're gonna, like, you know, have a YouTube channel, you know, let the audience speak for itself, or let YouTube say we don't like this kind of, you know, inflammatory content. It's their platform, they can do that. I'm not even so, like, you know, fuck the system that I'm against that. It's just time and place for me.
Should we move on?
Yeah, I'm fine with that. All right, so this is a segment that I'm actually really excited for, and I think we should make a more regular thing. It's expectations versus reality kind of a situation, but in regards to media.
Yeah, I'm really excited for this one, too, because you can actually do this for anything, like movies, games...
Wait,
yeah, exactly.
General media or games specifically?
I'm cool with media. Yeah.
I think it'd be nice to have everything.
I have one that actually came to mind the second Eric suggested this topic, and I want to say it with the disclaimer that don't take my word as current, because they tweaked and re-released the game and I'm excited to try it. I did rebuy it. Slain. Did you guys hear about that at all?
Slain. Which one's Slain?
I don't know what you're talking about, but I love Slain, so...
What game is
that?
Slain.
It was... It would... Well, no, I don't think Back from Hell was in the original title, was it? I think that was part of their rebranding.
I got it on a sale recently, so...
Okay.
I'm not one of the early adopters. I don't know about that. Continue.
No, it's okay. A few years back, I think, at this point, they were previewing it, and like lots of like art updates, animation updates. It was supposed to be like a Metroidvania style game, and I love those. It was very Viking, right, Chris? If I remember correctly, kind of like. Yeah, I'm asking you. It's very, like, Gothic European, correct? Like, Viking-esque?
It gave me some of that Castlevania vibe,
but more European, like Viking, yeah.
That, but, yeah, it had that kind of direction.
So, and the animation was gorgeous. There was a lot of character in, like, the combat, and, like, you know, the violence was very, like, stylized in a cool way, and, like, instead of just being like, oh, look, you swung a sword to kill the guy, like, no, there were, like... very, very grotesque battle animations. They put a lot of heart into it. And I was following the game for like a year or two, so excited for it to come out. It came out and it played, I'm not kidding, worse than some Flash games I've played.
Wow.
I was so depressed. I refunded the game. I was like, I never refund games. You can ask Taylor. She's known me for like 4 years now. And I always just go, meh, I'll probably play it eventually and have some fun with it. Slain disappointed me so hard I refunded it. But everybody had very similar thoughts to me. And they actually, to their credit, went back and said, we need to unfuck this game. And from what I hear, they did. Like, it's a way better game now, supposedly.
I think I've been playing it since last fall. It is tremendous. I did not know there was this kind of controversy leading up to like the early version.
Oh, Chris, they fixed it like instantly, dude. They felt terrible. And they listened to feedback, and not in the way that, like, okay, fine, we'll let the fans make the game, we'll just program what they tell us. But they were, like, issues. Like, the game was just, like, a bare-bones, broken mess. It was, if it was a demo, I would have been like, wow, this has promise. But as a finished game, I felt like I was robbed.
How much was the game?
25? Yeah,
okay.
20, 25, something like that.
I got it for $5 on a sale, so I'm happy.
Right. It wasn't, like, terribly overpriced or anything, but like I said, I've played free Flash games that were better. Like, but no, I fully, I've heard from all the feedback, a lot of the people who were as pissed as I was, that it's, like, incredible now. So, by all means, go check it out. They deserve your time and attention.
On, like, the level of, like, Jotun or Axiom Verge in recent memory.
See, like, that's what a lot of people were expecting, and it was not. So, I give them a lot of credit, and I'm going to turn this bad situation into a good one and say, like, yeah, look them up, give the game a shot. Like, it's worth your time now from what I've seen. I rebought it. You know, they gained my good faith back.
Kudos to the devs, then. I would not have even guessed based on the quality of what I'm playing recently.
Yeah, Chris, look up, like, what happened at launch or, like, sort Steam reviews by, like, date. Oh, you won't believe it. You won't believe it's for the same game.
I will do that after the show.
Yeah.
So,
anybody else?
Yeah, I got a couple things. A good one and a bad one. My first real game that disappointed me was, I think, Spore.
That actually is a pretty common thing for me to hear about Spore.
Spore is disappointing after you finish the, like, evolutionary stage, from what I hear.
Yeah,
I'm not
like,
a big Spore guy, so I'm a lot of secondhand guesswork.
That's exactly how I felt. Like, after I got through the evolution, like, I love the cell phase, I love the evolution phase, but as soon as you do, like, Primal Civilization and up, it's kind of like a watered-down version of every other strategy game you could think of.
Right.
And from what was promised, it was supposed to be, like, this ultra-grand strategy game that you're supposed to play for, like, all the time with, like, infinite creativity, but I didn't get it from that. To be honest, I thought it was, like, a really disappointing game. I did play the hell out of it, though. I played it for...
It's one of those
probably
games
200
that...
hours, so...
I think the problem was the expectations. Not what it ended... It didn't end up being bad, whereas, like, my Slain example, the game just wasn't that great to begin with. Plus the fact that it had hype behind it. But for Spore, I think a lot of it was just that people expected too much out of it, which wasn't the fans' fault. I think they promised too much.
Yeah.
But from what I hear, people are like, dude, if you just go into the game just saying, I want to have a good time with it, it's not a terrible game. It's just that it was supposed to be so much more.
Actually, I've heard that, have you played Fable?
Very, very little, but...
I think I have them, but I don't remember much.
I can't, in all good conscience, say I've played them because I played like an hour.
I remember the first game, but that's it.
I've heard Fable had the same issue, where they promise, like, the world
That's
to you.
Peter Molyneux, though. I mean, he always over...
Yeah, like,
it doesn't make him any less of a dick, but...
He promised his fans the world in that game, which
yeah, like,
is
he was promising
sad.
stuff like, if a random drop includes an acorn and you leave it in the world, it will be absorbed by the ground and eventually grow into a unique tree for, like, random customization in your overworld. Like, that kind of incredulous type of shit.
Yes, from what I've heard from people, Fable's a good game, but it's not that crazy.
It's a competent RPG on the Xbox 360 when there were not many options for that.
Which is why, like, when
also the original Xbox.
Oh yeah, the first one was original Xbox. I'm sorry, that's right.
No, it's okay.
Like, before I was really on the internet much of my life, I was actually part of the crowd, like, who played it without knowing any of the hype. I was like, oh, this is a pretty good game. I like it. And then, after playing it for so long, I actually ended up hearing about the news, like, people are getting mad at it because, like, the expectations were as promised. I was like, oh.
For Spore or Fable?
For Fable.
Oh, okay, yeah.
Yeah, so I was like, oh, that's interesting, because I thought
And you could see, as somebody from the outside, wow, yeah, I would have been pissed too, yeah.
Yeah, like, it's a good game, but, like, for what they promised, they were promising, like,
it's not that good, yeah.
What else is it? Oh, so on the flip side, I saw Jumanji this weekend, and I was going in thinking, this movie's not gonna be good. And I'm very happy to say I was very wrong. I loved it.
Oh, that's two good recounts of that movie I've heard.
It was so
makes me happy.
much fun. Like, it has A+ tier cast. It has The Rock, Chris Hart, Jack Black, which is...
You mean Kevin Hart?
Yes. What did I say?
You said Chris Hart.
Oh, okay. Kevin Hart, and Jack Black, and I forget the name of the girl. She's not in too many things. She played
Aidan McGillen or something like that?
I think it's like Karen something?
She's from Doctor Who and Guardians of the Galaxy.
Yes.
Oh, yeah. I think it is like Karen Gillian or something like that.
Yeah. Well,
Yeah, no, she's good. I've seen her in Doctor Who when I kind of went through a little phase with that show.
Yeah, so it was like I had a lot of fun with that.
Well, and that's good because like you know, I mean, a lot of our age group grew up with Jumanji, so it's like it's that sore spot of like, are you marketing to us because it's a good movie or because we'll pay to see it because we remember the first one?
Which is why I was like a little like,
you know,
that's why I was like
suspicious.
Suspicious. Like, listen, you're trying to play on our emotional strings right here, but but it was actually good. I loved it. I thought it was actually funny at points. Like, I actually laughed.
Didn't they make it a video game this time instead of a board game?
Yeah, it's funny thing is when the game
when
they first show it, it ends up is a board game, but the kid's like, who plays board games? And overnight it transforms into a video game cartridge.
Oh yeah, my friend told me about that. So it's kind of like a little hot take.
Yeah, so it's like
I dig that.
Yeah, just don't tell the tabletop community.
Yeah. Hey,
I'm
I'm one of them. I still love tabletop games. But
I haven't played in years though.
Oh, I'm bad in my life.
I don't play nearly enough tabletop games, and that's saying something considering I play like an okay amount of them.
Man, if you ever want to throw away a good chunk of your life, we could try getting a D&D thing going.
Actually, I do have that as like a plan already, so I'd be totally down to do a couple different campaigns.
I would like to say a little bit off topic, but I played Pathfinder for a bit. And
oh, you did?
Yeah, and you know how you can do like literally whatever you want in those games?
Yeah, of course. That's the charm.
So, of course, I brought it to the max in ridiculous levels, and my character was a druid who was an eco-terrorist who burnt down people's homes for destroying his trees, had no shoes, and enjoyed being strangled.
Malfurion Stormrage?
Yes, more or less.
Eric!
No, I was accusing you of being Malfurion.
So, that's how my games turn out in that.
Okay, so your Emerald Dream was an Emerald Nightmare.
Yep.
So for Eric's birthday, we're buying him one free therapy session.
Listen, it made sense in the game. I got, like, attacked by...
Yeah, I bet it fucking did.
No, we had to get something fashionable, maybe a nice straitjacket.
Yeah, true.
Okay,
Something to wear
okay.
out, you know?
But, listen, it made sense in the time.
Oh, I have to share the list, Taylor, the infamous list.
Huh.
Our friend Kyle found a list of, I forget the guy's name, but I'll grab it from him and share it to all appropriate social media. It's like the 2,687 or some odd things that like X player isn't allowed to do in campaigns anymore. And
Oh yeah.
this man has found every loophole and tried it. Like, we're talking, there's shit in there like, no, they don't make Nair in Wookiee sizes. Like, you can't steal your own soul. You're not allowed to, like, start the campaign with, like, insanity. Like, I'm not even doing it
that
justice.
has like a bunch of out of context D&D quotes for your leisure.
Fantastic.
Well, why would you steal your own soul?
But see, that's the thing. He thought of a situation where it would benefit, and he tried it. And the DM said, "Fuck out of here."
Oh, I got so angry because like I tried to, like I'm a druid. I can talk to animals. I took the perk to talk to
I
animals.
thought you were gonna say I'm Jewish, and I'm like, Eric, that's
Yeah, it's not
fine,
South Park,
but
it's not a class option.
yeah, like it's fine if you are, dude. But I just fail to see the relation here to the story.
Well, like I was like, I want to talk to this rat for clues, and the DM's like, why do you want to talk to a rat? He's like, it lives here. He would know. He's like, okay, talk to the rat. I'm like, does the rat know anything? He's like, no, the rat knows nothing. I'm like, thanks for wasting my time. The rat would know all. They know in.
I mean, he was there for it, right? So
Yeah.
he's a key eyewitness.
Like, the DM was very suspect.
Piece of shit.
Lying to
I
me.
call bullshit. Yeah, right.
I call shenanigans here.
So, anybody else on the expectations versus reality train before we move on?
I had a couple.
Because I love this topic.
I had a couple of games in mind. I wasn't where we were extending it to all media, so I'll just do 3. And
Okay.
for the sake of my own brevity, I'm going to exclude Gearbox from this because that would be a list in of itself.
Okay, fair enough.
We talk about aliens, Space Marine.
Or Battleborn, or Duke Nukem Forever, even though I like that game.
Or let's continue.
Borderlands the pre-sequel.
Or
Anyway, yeah, they've got it.
Like he said, the list goes on.
Okay, so the ones that I was coming up with would be, well, I actually previously discussed this one, Diablo 3 at launch. Prior to the Reaper of Souls expansion coming out, I was very much disappointed with that as somebody who played countless hours of Diablo 2. And that game ended up being usurped wholesale by a free-to-play game by the name of Path of Exile.
Right.
And I have the expansion for Diablo 3 now, but I'm not seeing much reason to go back.
I've actually wanted to play Path of Exile.
I meant to start it last semester, got distracted, life happened, and I still very much want to play it. I mean, it's not like the game's going anywhere, you know?
Yeah, I mean, we can play it as a group sometime. We
Yeah.
have a big enough, like, for all of us and then some. Although I found out that I lost my old account because it was on an old email. So.
Oh, rip.
Squad.
I mean, it's
oh.
fine. I'm starting from scratch, so...
Yeah, same.
And I intend to start a couple characters because, you know, I have a couple groups that, have expressed interest in playing with me.
What squads
So
are
I'd
they?
be like...
I mean, what classes can you
Classes?
get? Yeah.
Here's the cool thing about it, like, everyone uses this comparison, but I tend to agree with it. You know the Final Fantasy X sphere grid?
No.
Okay, basically, imagine a massive, like, okay, here, Eric, go on Google and just look up Path of Exile skill tree,
Yep.
and I'll wait for the heart attack. Wait for
Wow,
it.
that sounds very brutal, by the way. Wait for a heart attack.
Yeah. Oh, you'll see.
This looks like a town. Like a sky view of a town.
A bird's eye view of a fucking city.
My god.
Yeah. No, and that's the thing. Like, I mean, it's not all gonna work the best, but you could make anything you fucking want. You could make a necromancer archer by just following the skill tree. Like, fuck it, see if it works. And that's half the fun for a lot of people, and I'm inclined to be one of those people. So, like, one of the things I saw in one of the big gameplay reveals of the new expansion that just came out was, like, he was an archer with, like, freezing arrows that when they exploded into ice, they teleported him to where they exploded. Like, you know what I mean? You could do dumb shit like that, but it's really fucking cool, and you could just be whatever you want to be, basically. It's way more open-ended than the other classes in games like Diablo, which is not necessarily for everybody. Some people like something a little more, thought out, or not thought out, but a little more rigid.
Like a JRPG style, almost a linear progression.
Yeah, exactly. Like, hey, you are a barbarian. That is all you are going to be.
But you can level up this character, but that character is going to be either, like, build is basically set.
Yeah. And, some people prefer that, but I like the open-endedness of Path of Exile because it's a game that you can very much just fire up with friends and be like, let's do some dumb shit. Let's make a dumb character today.
So it's like
And
kind of like
I think
Divinity.
That's cool. You're the Divinity guy. I haven't played it yet, so I'm not as knowledgeable.
Dude,
I'll vouch for it as well. But,
Oh, that's true. Both of you have played.
You can do whatever
Like,
you
he's
want.
got like 20 times more hours in it than I do. So
Right.
okay,
But yeah.
so Diablo 3 was the first that came to mind because that was one of the games I was most anticipating a sequel to. And what else did I have?
That happened to our friend. He went into GameStop with me back, haha, we still went to GameStop. And he just plopped down $100 bill on the table and said, give me a Diablo 3 pre-order. and he was like, "Wow, why did I do that?"
Now he cries himself to sleep every night.
I mean, I have the collector's edition retroactively once it got cheaper, but
Right.
it was nothing worth rushing out for at first, especially not with the anticipation. So that was my first one that came to mind.
Okay.
It would be very easy to just put up more lists, like Bethesda, BioWare. They've been swinging and missing a bit lately.
I think Bethesda, I enjoy their games, but they're an overhyped company for me for sure.
Also, their engine is kicking their own ass inside out right now. They need to ditch Gamebryo and the creation engine.
Were you the one who told me that they won't do the next game because they're waiting for a better engine?
Yeah, it's like they were talking about, I think it was Pete Hines and Todd Howard. They were being interviewed by that dude that hosts the VGAs, and it was something like the technology for what we want to do for the Elder Scrolls 6 doesn't exist yet, so it's nowhere in the immediate future. And they're currently working on 2 major projects before their next Elder Scrolls. And they also counted ESO as an Elder Scrolls, even though it's not a numbered single-player entry.
Yeah.
And ESO, that would be an easy punching bag, but I'm actually going to go a bit lower and aim for Fallout 4 and Skyrim. Because
Really?
Oh my.
those games came out after Obsidian did Fallout New Vegas and showed Bethesda how to use their own engine for an actual RPG. Instead, they've been streamlining elements to such an extent that it's more flashy, it's more glamorous, and hell, Fallout 4 actually improved upon the gunplay compared to Fallout 3 New Vegas. However, the customization, the individuality of actually playing an RPG and making it your own experience is diminished heavily.
I love
Okay.
New Vegas.
New Vegas, I think, might be my favorite Fallout.
I'm
It's a
assuming
great
you've
one.
played the first 2, Chris. You seem like somebody who wouldn't skip on those.
Yeah, I skipped Brotherhood of Steel on the original Xbox, but I think that was the only one.
That's weird though. That's an action RPG. I wouldn't really consider you skipping anything. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I think I played 1, 2. I played Tactics a while after it came out. I played through before it, I think. New Vegas.
Was Tactics
and
any
4.
good?
I have no memory of it, so maybe not.
Well, maybe it was average at least.
Fierce hoping. I think you could have gotten it free on GOG a while back.
I have it. I just, here's the thing. I enjoy tactics games in theory more than in practice, I think they're a really cool idea, but I'm not very, very into them. But I do intend to play more as I age. But I am interested in Fallout, and a tactics game based on it sounds really cool, so...
Yeah, Bethesda just... I wish they would keep the RPG elements in their RPG, but apparently that's a lesson that needs to be brought industry-wide because BioWare is the RPG manufacturers of stuff like KOTOR and Dragon Age, and they're making a not RPG this year, or presumably early next year. If the
LOL, BioWare.
So I'm not discussing them right now because we know nothing, but
And
BioWare's
that's only the fairest
swinging
thing
and
to
missing
do.
for me ever since, I want to say 2010. It's like Mass Effect 2, Dragon Age 2, Mass Effect 3. Like, Dragon Age
Yeah.
Inquisition was better than 2, but it still wasn't as good as Origins. And then, of course, we have Mass Effect Andromeda, which there's already a library of... You can't say enough that's wrong with Andromeda.
And it's weird because a lot of Mass Effect fans I know said, it's not like they didn't do anything wrong, but they still
made some-
liked the game.
They did the same thing as Bethesda. They made improvements to combat, but nothing else. And in other aspects, they even regressed.
Well, like the visuals.
As animations especially, it's like the visuals were
Yeah.
a market improvement, but once they started moving, it was all over.
Right.
To be honest, when I played
And God
Fallout
forbid
4
it had a face.
And I'm a bit of a contrarian when it comes to Mass Effect anyway, because a lot of people say 2 is their favorite, and meanwhile, it was my least favorite until Andromeda came out.
Oh, fair.
So, like, the game when I first played, what was it called? Fallout 4, I actually was kind of disappointed. I didn't really like it. However,
Okay.
it grew on me really fast.
I think a lot of people had that that sentiment. Like, a lot of people were like, I don't know about this. But after the credits rolled and they looked back at it, they were like, yeah, I had fun.
It has
I'll
a very
admit
slow
that-
start.
I'll admit that I actually gave Fallout 4 a lot of credit on launch that I don't think it deserved, because it was the first Bethesda game I'd played in almost a decade that had no technical issues for the first 40 hours.
Oh, okay.
That did not happen to anybody else I spoke to, so apparently I was just rolling natural 20s for like a week
Yeah.
straight. And
Yeah, that game was like, the biggest
Yeah, nobody,
Fallout bug meme since New Vegas.
literally nobody I talked to had that good of an experience for the first 40 hours. So apparently I was just... I don't know if that was good luck or bad luck in retrospect, but
Yeah.
I just made Furiosa from Mad Max, and then I ravaged the wasteland for a week straight.
I played a muscular 80-year-old who punched people to death.
I think on my
God.
PS3 version, I had a bunch of characters. Like, I made Lemmy Kilmister from Motorhead. I made Sylvester
Hell yeah.
Stallone.
Hell yeah.
It's like, the Lemmy Kilmister one was a charisma build, but then I realized Fallout 4 had shit for diplomacy options. So it's like, I want to talk my way out of this situation. I'm going to drink bourbon as well so I can get my charisma up. There's no cocaine for Lemmy to snort in this game, so I'm just going to have to improvise with Jet.
Well, you know what's funny? You could make the argument that it has no good diplomacy options, but the same is often true for real life. So, what can you do? Hit everything. Rockets face off.
In real life, we just call everything Darth Cheeto or the President and Hitler.
Well, that's politics. That's no fun. That's not rock and roll.
We can't pretend that Fallout is not political. I mean, do I have to quote Liberty Prime to you with his dying mechanized words?
Fair enough.
Listen, Liberty Prime is the man. So is the Brotherhood of Steel. I like those guys.
But he's not a man.
Liberty Prime was more human than any member of the Brotherhood of Steel.
What are you talking about? They're the best.
I'm talking about 3 and 4. Maybe a little bit of New Vegas, but they're much weaker there.
Democracy is not an option.
Communism is a preferable I can't speak. I'm not going to impersonate it. Communism is a preferable alternative to death. Or something like that. I'm butchering Liberty Prime. I'm committing sacrilege.
The Enclave. What's their thing about?
The Enclave is the remnants of the U.S. government formed from some insurgent cells that were basically hiding out in, not vaults, but something technically equivalent. And they were trying to institute a totalitarian, not monarchy, but there was nobody to hold elections with, so just a dictatorship.
Okay.
Like, you remember President John Henry Eden from Fallout 3, right?
Yes.
Of course you do.
I kind of remember.
Totally.
Yeah.
Said Eric.
Sure, let's go with
So
that.
the Fallout,
Convincingly.
the Fallout 3 and Fallout 4 Enclave, just as the most recent incarnations, they were basically trying to put the U.S. government back in charge of the U.S., but everything was too bombed to hell to come back. So they ended up just becoming murderous dickheads.
You know why? It's because those no good super mutants.
Yeah, I'm just gonna look up the Liberty Prime quotes now.
I was gonna say, I guess nobody hates super mutants. I was waiting for somebody to dissent. Damn, are we accidentally racist?
Would that be specious at that point?
Yeah, that's true. Well,
You played New Vegas. Talk to the Nightkin.
Yeah, I
They're
destroyed
people
them.
too.
They were people.
You didn't recruit the giant, invisible, muscle-bound grandmother?
No, she was on my team. She was the best.
Okay,
I need to play Fallout, man. Holy shit.
Did you at least recruit Strong and Fox?
I don't know who these people are.
Strong was Fallout 3, and Fox was voiced by Goku.
Well, he didn't power up, so that was his fault for dying.
Man, Eric is just getting put through the ringer right now. Oh, watch Eric's stream. It's a better stream. Piece of shit.
Shots fired.
What is next?
Oh, next is Snoop Dogg.
Snoop Dogg.
I can't wait. Should we move on? I want to talk about Snoop Dogg. Let's talk about fucking Snoop Dogg.
Let's
Go
do it.
for it.
Okay, so this is one that Taylor and I were talking about last night. So apparently there's some early access like team-based survival game called SOS. I don't know shit about it. I can't comment on the quality of that game, but it's one of those games that's like, you know, they're trying to get like press on it, you know.
Early access team-based survival, that's a lot of stuff lately.
Yeah, exactly. So Snoop Dogg did a stream on it. Pretty cool.
Twitch?
Twitch, yes, Twitch. And in the middle of his stream, he goes to check his phone, lets go of his keyboard and mouse, and the game keeps on going.
Yeah.
And then at the end, he quips that to someone off screen that, damn, you really made me look like I knew what I was doing. Now, my thoughts, which, you know, we could discuss, were that I don't really give a shit. It was funny. But I don't like that people, like, okay, if it were played for laughs and said, like, at the end, like, all right, yeah, I wasn't really playing, like, got ya, ha ha, and it was just a big old, like, entertainment goof, gaff, gag, whatever, that'd be fine. But I feel like it's a little disingenuous considering the whole point of Twitch is to go on and watch people do things. So if the guy isn't doing things, like, granted, he could still be entertaining, but you should be transparent about that kind of stuff, in my opinion. Like, hey, I'm watching my friend play and smoking a blunt because I'm Snoop Dogg. Like, that's fine. That's totally fine. I'd watch it. But, like, I'm sure part of the draw for a lot of the viewers was, I'm watching Snoop Dogg play this game. But you weren't. And it was never played out at the end as, like, gotcha, goofed you, like, haha, funny. It was just like, oh, I was caught, so I guess I'll say something about it. You know what I mean? Like, I have a feeling that if he didn't take his hands off the keyboard, everyone would have gone on thinking Snoop Dogg was playing the entire time.
I think that's how it was going to go down, to be honest.
Yeah.
Which E3 was it? 2016 or 2017, where he was invited to like an EA type interactive event, and he was talking about how I got a secret weapon for whenever I'm playing, and the next thing you know, he's got a blunt, and the next shot he's hiding it. It just
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Well, and that's the funny thing. Like Snoop Dogg, like I have nothing
I think it was
against
like
him as a
Battlefield
person.
1 or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but
By all accounts, Snoop Dogg is like a pretty stand-up guy. Like he's chill as fuck. I mean, he's haha, smokes too much weed not to be, but you know, all joking aside, and he does play video games. Like he's gone on record multiple times as a fan of video games. So like, I just find it kind of odd that he would play this kind of like weird scenario out, you know? I'm not butthurt like about like we're Twitch streamers and we're not like no, it's fine. It's just like play the game, Snoop. You don't have to be good at it. Like
Yeah,
people want to see you play the game. They don't want or
it's pretty
they at least
demonstrable on Twitch right now that you don't have to be good at a game to like get stream appeal. You just have to be a personality.
like
and that's fine. I think that's more important anyway.
like I feel like you can think about this. way,
Northern
like,
Lion.
I'm sorry, just my audio is cutting out. I didn't cut you guys off, did I?
No.
No.
Okay.
No, I
Alright.
just made fun of Northern Lion. That's
Well, yes, one Northern Lion, but two also like Dead
You like me,
Mouse.
Ryan?
He's a
I'm
big
sorry.
Dead Mouse is a really big like popular streamer, I believe, and like
Yes.
Oh, dude.
Actually, he
remember
does a
Dead
lot of
Mouse
music
with-
production streams.
Oh, really?
What were you saying, Chris? I'm sorry.
Do you remember? I forget when it was, but Dead Mouse was doing a hardcore run in Diablo 3, and he got disconnected.
No!
Oh,
And it was on stream and everything, and it's like he was trying to appeal to Blizzard, like, is there any way to restore this? I mean, I did nothing wrong. It was a technical issue on your end. It's like, nope, you're dead.
Wait.
man.
What about hardcore?
He was
Yeah.
playing.
Dead Mouse was playing a hardcore run of Diablo 3, and he got disconnected, and his character died while he was disconnected.
Oh wow! In hardcore, your character dies forever.
Yeah.
Okay.
And you lose like everything they had, etc. You can't recover their loot. Yeah,
Rest in
it was
peace.
a bad situation. But yeah, no, Dead Mouse does like gaming streams and like creative streams. Dude, Trivium's guitarist Matt Heafy. I just found out he has a Twitch account and he plays like Overwatch and like PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds and stuff, and it's really cool. And like
Yeah.
he doesn't claim to be super great at it. It's just, you know, when you're a fan of his music, it's really cool to see him doing stuff that, you know, you
And
can
he
get
does
down with.
music streams too.
Oh yeah, and he did like a guitar clinic on Twitch and stuff, and that's really cool because that's something a lot of people don't really do.
Yeah.
So yeah, I think that's why I have a problem with it. I'm not saying like, oh Snoop, I'm calling you out. It's just like, hey man, like could have admitted at the end that it was just all planned as a goof and nobody would have cared. It's the fact that it was like, oh hey man, sweep it under the rug, make a comment at the end. It's like, no man, we like Snoop Dogg for Snoop Dogg. I'm not even one of those. I know there's people who are like, oh, like it's already hard enough to be a streamer on Twitch without celebrities trying to get in on the money too. I don't care. Twitch is supposed to be a platform where you can watch anybody like do things and express themselves and shit, and that's fun. I don't care if you're already famous and making subscriber money. Like, it's whatever. You're bringing an audience. You're bringing an audience.
If a loud, high-pitched Swede can get money on Twitch just by leaning back in a reclining chair, what are our standards?
Yeah. But, like, that's exactly the thing. It's like, you know, Come on, Steve.
For a
just
second, I
don't
thought you were
lie
gonna say,
about
"But can it do this?" And I was about to get angry.
No, God, no. No, listen. Taylor and I went out for sushi last night, and I actually stopped listening to her for a solid 20 to 30 seconds because all I could hear was next to me some little kid pointing at everything he could see in a fucking 20-foot radius and screaming, "What are those?" This is why I don't want to reproduce.
I had one of those types of kids when I went to go see Beauty and the Beast with my little sister.
Are you fucking kidding?
It made for an interesting viewing experience until Gaston showed up and scared him.
Take that, kid. Oh my god.
How dare you?
Yeah, no, can you imagine, like, me as a father dealing with my son? Dude, just kid, that's a bad meme. Stop it, or you're grounded.
Yeah, no, instead the kids in our family, we just have them grow up in the Bible Belt shouting Bible verses.
Oh, good.
My little nephew, I love him, but I remember one time in a pizzeria, he was
Oh no, this is no.
just shouting, "What would Jesus do?"
Oh,
Oh my god.
I love you, Braden. I hope you're not listening, because there's a lot of bad language.
Yeah, that's a different issue. Oh my god.
Okay, so enough family embarrassment. What else we got? Is there anything else in the Snoop Dogg story?
No, I mean, do you guys have anything to add to it? Like, I don't want to beat a dead horse.
just that it kind of was dishonest and a little shitty.
Yeah, like, by no means, this is why I said, like, a potentially... Like, the bad thing was the Blizzard thing, and the good thing was the expectations bit. This I don't really see as anything but, like, huh, this happened, that's interesting. Like, I have no intentions of him being crucified in the public eye or anything, like...
I'm just waiting for the Snoop Dogg fake gamer girl memes.
Yeah, like, exactly. And at the end of the day, like, he wasn't, like, he wasn't doing anything like... He was interacting with the gameplay, he just wasn't controlling it, you know? So it's like, it's not the biggest deal in the world.
It's like, if Twitch just literally have streamers reacting to Top Gear on their platform, it's like, it's not even a game, you're not interacting with it, you're just react. Like, I'm sure the Fine Brothers are going to be angry at you, but everybody else is just...
Yeah, but who cares about them? They're subhuman.
Yeah.
Wait, are the Fire Brothers the guys who tried to copyright something?
React, yes.
Oh. Gotcha.
I was never a tremendous fan of theirs anyway. I think it's a kind of hacky method of entertainment.
If you see 2 episodes, you've seen them all.
Yeah. Like, I think some things like that can be funny. Like, it's by no means my favorite form of entertainment, but, like, there's that channel, Taylor, that Kyle always puts on. It's, like, the same Irish men and women that, like, they always, like, they'll have them try foods or
Their
alcohol.
logo is like an F. I don't know.
Yeah, the channel is called Fact, and which is weird because it has nothing to do with anything, but anyway, like...
React channels are so big now. I mean, I was looking for Dragon Ball Super subs recently, and I found more React videos than actual episodes.
Right, exactly. And, like, that one channel is cool because it's always the same people, so you actually get a bit of a rapport instead of, oh, why is this random 3-year-old saying, I don't know what a Game Boy is? Ha ha, teenagers, right?
Hoi hoi.
Like...
Where are the apps? I
Yeah.
feel sorry for the people from the past.
Oh my god, yeah.
This
Exactly,
man.
like... But, like, when you get actual people with personality that are recurring, it's like, is it a little lame that it's like, oh, they react to this, they taste test this? Yeah, but at least it's, like, actually entertaining. Yeah, whatever, everybody's a fucking critic. We're doing a fucking podcast, who am I to say anything?
Where we criticize multiple things.
Yeah.
We are painstakingly aware that we are... How would you phrase it?
Talking not heads.
Talking
I mean-
not heads, but we have to add a silent K in there to piss off Eric.
No.
Talking...
Yeah,
No,
but-
it's a G.
Yeah, to put G's in
Talking
there.
not heads, like a knot with...
Oh no, I only care about K's. K's gets
I
too
think
much
that entire
respect.
running joke was off the air anyway, so nobody's gonna care.
Well, I mean, we're shitting on Eric, so I think there's something to be said for that.
Wow.
That never gets old.
Love you, buddy.
I hate you all. You'll get the wrath of the gnomes one day.
Next week, so Eric quit the show. We're a 3-piece now. All right, how's everybody doing?
And we've lost our primary editor, so that's gonna leave a good quality mark.
Fuck him.
Like, you guys hear what happened to Cruella back in the day?
Oh yeah, when the guy got like into a fight with the 2 girls and like quit the band or they kicked him out.
Didn't
they kick him out and then it's like, oh wait, we don't have a producer anymore because they just sang. They didn't like produce. I think they wrote the music. I'm not gonna like shit on them. I don't know. And I thought their music was pretty okay for EDM.
So
but like,
if I remember correctly, this is what happened. This is a while ago, but if I remember correctly, I think he was like a recovering alcoholic or something like that, and he didn't want to party with them. And they're like, well, fuck you. You know, there's probably other things that were going on.
Oh, yeah!
Which band is this?
Cruella.
Cruella. They're an EDM 3-piece. That was actually, like, pretty decent. But, like, yeah, it was 2 women and
the guy.
And the guy. And he
was the guy who produced
the women would... I think they would write with him, but he was the one who actually, you know, made it in editing programs.
Like, they were the faces and the voice. Yeah, they're like the faces and voices.
And like I said, in an effort to not like unfairly judge, I do believe they contributed writing to it. But without him, they said, "Oh man, why don't you ever party with us?" He's like, "I'm a recovering alcoholic," and they're like, "Oh, lame," and they kicked him out of the band, and then realized, wait, we don't know how to actually program our own instruments. What do we do?
And you know how it all went down, like down the drain for them. They went to Ultra. They went to Ultra, one of the biggest EDM festivals. And their mixer wasn't plugged in.
Oh, that is just rich.
Yeah. It keeps cutting out on me. What happened at Ultra?
Ultra's like one of the biggest festivals in America. And what happened was, when they were on stage singing, their mixer wasn't even plugged in. Which is...
Oh.
Yeah, so that was fun.
Grown.
And I think after that, they pretty much went into hiding.
Yeah, I don't think I've really heard from them since.
Well, clearly the performance did.
I felt bad for that guy. I mean, obviously we're on the outside. We can't really know. I try not to judge any kind of tabloid-esque story because I'm not them and this is their lives. But
and it's now or never.
Man. Yeah, exactly.
Chris, what was the amount of the Street Fighter V entrance? Because I wanted to just like make a note of that because Evo Japan is happening right now.
It was like 2,200.
Okay.
But I can send you the article later. Yeah.
Yeah, it's the first Evo in Japan this year. I thought that they had it there before. I guess I was wrong.
Well, I don't know exactly what's going on because don't forget, Evo is in Vegas this year. There is an Evo US.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Evo's not even the main event. I mean, Sean Schemmel and Chris Sabat are going to be playing Fighter Z.
I mean,
unless Evo's going to have Daigo doing the like full parry of Chun-Li's ultimate again, I don't care.
Yeah, I'm kind of...
Oh, excuse me, Chris. In Street Fighter 3 Third Strike, they are called Super Arts.
Oh, and now, when did you get to the stream?
God damn it.
I'm like trying to wait until at least the semifinals of all the games to bother watching.
Yeah. Wait, Eric, is this where he goes all pro-corporate and fucking sues me for likeness?
No, this is where he calls himself a turbo nerd and is like, sorry for being self-deprecation.
Oh, Ryan. Oh, Ryan.
No, this is actually when the chat yells at him for being a nerd.
No, an egg.
An egg, yes.
They don't yell at him, they just spam Homer Simpson memes.
Dude, I don't think I've ever seen a man more revered for his lack of hair than Northern Lion.
Yeah.
And I love it.
Patrick Stewart.
I mean, that's true, Patrick Stewart.
Yeah.
On baldness level, he is like the internet's Patrick Stewart, I think. Except for Patrick Stewart being the internet's Patrick Stewart, but you know.
Well.
Oh, good. But yeah, fucking. That was a show, man. That was a show. We talked about Snoop Dogg. I'm pretty.
Yeah.
Unless you guys want to do like the Nintendo Labo type stuff, then.
You know what? Yeah, no, that's a cute thing to close on. I haven't looked too far into it, I think. No, go ahead.
There's a lot of people that are outraged right now at the price point, but the fact is,
how much is it?
That they're talking about a game for the Labo being $70 if you get like the full kit with everything. But the thing is that the cardboard is not proprietary in any way, and you can get the stencils for free online to make your own. I mean, that's kind of
wow! isn't that cute how people are conveniently leaving that out so they can, continue to be outraged?
Yeah, it's like
Rabble,
the
rabble.
first day I hadn't read into it that much, so I was like, "Oh, this is going to be hilarious," and then I realized, "Oh wait, no, that's actually decent. It's just not something I'll buy."
Yeah. No, and I think, like, okay, haha, Nintendo is a kids company, but, like, I think this is one of those times where this is probably marketed more as, like a maker product for the whole family, instead of buying into something like a 3D printer, which is still cool. This is something that I think more people can get in on. More people can say, I understand how this works and can do it with my family, my small kids, my nieces and nephews.
I think that was the point of it, though. So.
Yeah, and I think that's really cool because, to be fair, I mean, do you guys remember seeing, like, I don't know if you've ever dug up old, like, for the nostalgia factor, you've looked at old catalogs from, like, the 90s. Fucking, like carpentry sets and, like, magic sets and shit. Those were fucking expensive. Like,
Yeah.
and they weren't made of much more than cardboard and plastic either.
I mean, dude, we got trading card fans here. I mean, what are we calling those?
Exactly.
Yeah.
They are literal slabs of printed cardboard with manufactured rarity.
Meanwhile, if you
mean-
want one that's playable at a tournament is like $600 a deck. Just
Isn't like Black Rose over 1,000?
Black
Black
Lotus.
Lotus.
Black Lotus, yeah.
Yeah.
Also, you have to
Yeah.
literally destroy the card to enact its effect, which is why people don't use it because they want to collect.
Wait, what?
Wait. No, you're thinking of the other card, the unhinged card.
Yeah, I'm not a big Magic guy, but the thing is that
But
there's
Black Lotus is just a free 3 mana, and that's why it's so busted because there's like no cost to it or
I
something.
can swear that it was one of the cards that you have to tear in half to activate.
No, there is a card in like the unhinged. They make a series of cards that's like supposed to have ridiculous effects.
Yeah, like
And
Like there's one with a Nerf gun involved, and it's like
Yeah.
if you shoot the card, you get to knock it out of play or something.
yeah, they're not
yeah,
obviously not legal in like real play, but
I wish
but
I
they're
had
very
more
sought
to
after.
watch.
them just
Yeah.
like I just picked them up for fun.
I
They're
thought you were
cool.
gonna say they're not legal in like 13 states.
they're a felony in 5 of them.
You cannot carry
But,
an automated Switchblade or this select Magic card.
Yeah.
Well, shit.
But no, they're interesting sets to look into. But like one of them is like you tear the card into as many pieces as you want,
Oh
throw
yeah,
it
there's
in
that
the air,
confetti card.
and any card that it lands on is exiled for the rest of the game. Yeah, but like you said, you have to destroy the card for it to be effective.
It's not just
Or
like house
do
rule.
you?
No, there's some people that try to get away with like house rules. Can you just say I destroyed it and then activate the effect? It's
No,
like
no. What
It's
I'm
like having
thinking of
cooperative
it.
DM, basically.
Yeah, no, I'm thinking of. Can you just keep it in your pocket like fucking pocket sand and be like, nah, exile these cards, fuck boy. I think that would be fun.
Yes, but it only works on unsleeved media subscribers.
Oh my god. But yeah, so I mean, Nintendo putting out like, oh, it's cardboard. Yeah, but like, it's more than that. I mean, first of all, it's reductive to just say that about anything because there's people, oh, it's video games are just plastic, pushing
It's like-
plastic buttons and looking at a screen.
If you're getting the Nino
Like-
Kuni, what do you call it, premium edition or whatever it is, it comes with a papercraft sculpture of the environment. It's like, that's just cardboard.
Yeah.
It's colored.
And like, and I think that, with the intended purpose of it being like a creative gaming outlet, especially for families and younger people, I think that's really cool. Although I do have to admit, it was really funny that there was like some gaming, like he was known for being inflammatory, but he was like a gaming commentator from like 2013, and he said, "Dude, you could sell cardboard with the
Michael
Nintendo name
Pachter
on
actually
it."
got something right.
Yup. And he was like, no, Nintendo fans aren't that stupid. Wait, of course they are. And, here we are. But who's really laughing
You
when
literally
it's
get
not
better
that bad of
economic
an
advice
idea?
from GameFAQs than from Michael Pachter, and he got this right.
But yeah, I don't think it's a bad idea.
Guys,
I do find it interesting the direction that you go first, Scary.
first of all, let's say I'm really bad at Slay the Spire. Second of all, I would like to say that I really think it's a cool idea in general. It's very, like you were saying before, it's like the construction set, the home construction set you would get like back in the day. maybe
Yeah.
like 20 years ago. It feels just like that, and like I also like you guys have played with Google Cardboard before, right?
Yeah.
So like
Never
I feel like it's just the same kind of basic idea where it's good for the environment. It's supposed to be cheap, and it's supposed to like I don't know, help you see something that you usually like. So like Google Cardboard was made so you can do like VR stuff for like I don't know $5 instead of buying like
Yeah.
a $300, $600 headset.
Mm-hmm.
So that's how the kind of vibes I'm getting from it. So I'm completely okay with this.
Well, and it's also worth noting that like oh wait, sorry, hold on. The wording escaped me for a second. I got this.
Did you catch it?
It's worse than me
Yeah.
with Liberty Prime.
I know, right? Oh no, it's worth noting that this also says something about Nintendo's controller design, that all you need to do some really crazy stuff with their remotes is a cardboard prop to hold it in a certain way that the human hand would not comfortably hold it. You know what I
they were
mean?
Talking about like discerning the number of ice cubes in a glass. Senran Kagura devs are trying to find out a way to make it simulate certain pairs of mounds. You can be creative.
Huge tracts of land!
Like, can we not even pretend we're surprised that Senran Kagura is trying to find a way to make haptic feedback for tits?
No,
Not to pretend.
not at all. No, we're not surprised. I played Bon Appetit. I know how this shit goes.
So I'm kind of surprised with the way creative direction's been going recently when it comes to games. I mean, not just Nintendo having these stencils freely available online, but the fact that there is this greater emphasis on not just tactile feedback, but the idea of the players making their own feedback rather than exploring the creativity in game. Like, you're externalizing the creation, especially when you're actually making it with your own two hands, as opposed to just world building or exploration.
And I think there's something important about that we don't get too obsessed with the idea. I just skipped a pickup. With the idea of like, oh, like it all has to be like this super finely crafted thing that like has been done in advance by other people. Like, no, there's something to be said for a more out there experience that's player guided. And I think it's very unfair, as somebody who's not a Nintendo fanboy and thinks they've done a lot of stupid shit in the past, I think it's really unfair to write them off and say, like, oh, they're charging for cardboard, and, like, conveniently leave out everywhere I look that, hey, you can get the stencils. Like, that's really fucking cool of them. I can't stress that enough.
I think this is like
I have to look into it because I never heard that, but I trust Chris.
I feel like this is like the year of Nintendo. You like how
Yeah.
like what was it? Two generations ago. Let me speak. 2 generations ago, it was Xbox. Last generation was PlayStation. Now it feels like it's Nintendo's turn to shine.
Yeah. Well, and ironically enough, it's been Sony's time to shine this generation, but so many people are PC gaming now that nobody really cares. I'm not saying nobody. Like, I know a lot of people who love their console, and that's fine.
And
But I just think, like,
oh,
oh, Eric.
As a member of the filthy hybrid inferior race, well,
Yeah. No, but in all
what do I
seriousness,
know though? I'm just gonna be playing Monster Hunter tonight.
go fuck yourself.
yeah.
But yeah, like, I don't know. I feel like it's not that consoles have taken a dive so much as PC has been on the rise so much that, like, they're just not in the spotlight as hard. And it's very weird. Even as a PC player, I'm all about it. Like, it's weird because I look at PS4 as like, oh, that's unsuccessful. But then I realize I'm in my own little bubble of people who don't play console as much anymore.
It's like I turn on that system at least once a week.
Yeah. And
for
dude,
PC
tournaments, I mean, there's Street Fighter on PC. Is it being run on PS4s? Absolutely. Even in America. So, I mean, there's something to be said for that.
Yeah.
Also, one of the things that Nintendo's doing to set themselves aside from the other console competition right now is the portability. The 3DS is still a big player. However, the Switch having the option to go back and forth, it's kind of like Windows Play Anywhere initiative actually done well.
Yeah.
Guys, so we are at an hour and 10 minutes right now. So if you guys want to call it here,
I'd be down with that. We had a good show.
yeah, I liked it.
Yep, it was fun. Does the guy who did our intro want to do anything special for the outro?
Yeah, it's your turn now.
We'll see you motherfuckers next week!
Whoop whoop!
We'll have more drama, more blood, more sweat, more shitting on Eric.
What?
Possibly
All that
talent and
and
production
more.
quality.
Yeah, I wouldn't get us too hyped.
I said possibly.
Yeah, fair enough.
It's like a 95% in XCOM.
There's
So
still
say-
that 5%.
That we're gonna miss.
Mhm.
Also, before I peace out, now would be a good time to ask. Do you guys want to do? Obviously, we're gonna do the show next week, but maybe in the next couple weeks we'll do like a gameplay, a live gameplay stream. That would be fun.
Oh, dude, I've been wanting to do that since we started.
I know, but I mean, like now, like now that the holidays have died off and like the semester is in full swing for people now, and like we're not as like scrambling to get stuff started, I'll have more time for games.
What game?
We'll figure that out.
We could
But,
do.
you know.
We could. Yeah, I was about to say
Oh.
we could do Path of Exile.
Yeah, fuck it. Let's do Path of Exile. I mean, I'm terrible at Diablo style RPGs. Let me preface this for anybody listening. I know a lot about RPGs. Like, you know, I know what stats mean, I know what gear does and all that stuff, but when it comes to actually being good at building a character, don't expect anything from me. Like I'm going to be trash.
Now that I've played what's it called? Now that I've played Divinity, I feel like I'm a god
Yeah.
at all RPGs because
Right.
I just go for
Like,
the
if
most
you-
broken stuff.
Like, I've never played Divinity, but if Eric sat down with me for like 10 minutes and told me about his best character, it wouldn't be over my head. Like, I understand it, but like, you tell me to do that, and I'm like, oh, this looks good. Oh no, that ability's useless. But why? It does this thing that looks really cool. Yeah, but fireballs suck in this game.
My- My favorite ability, you know my personality right now, so my favorite ability was one that was not really that useful in a fight. It was more to troll my friends. It's called
Okay.
Spider Legs. It gives you the ability to throw web, and unless you have Spider Legs also, you get stuck in the web for like 10 seconds. And I can shoot web, and they stay forever until you burn them. So I just kind of covered the entire village in web.
You are a massive douchebag.
That's Eric.
Ugh.
Literally the whole village was covered in webs. And it was like the main hub where you get items.
Oh my god.
No one
That is brilliant.
Eric's trolling. I mean, you were playing Starbound earlier. I spent all night building us a fortress and a farm. He gets in there for 10 minutes.
Oh my god. But yeah, no, and if you guys are down, I can always like, in addition to our little, you know, campaign by our lonesome, we could like dick around with characters if I could get any friends who would want to like guest play with us and stuff.
Yeah, I'm
I think
down.
that would be fun. Okay.
100%.
All right, well, look forward to it. I'll see you guys later.
Yeah, see ya.
Bye.
Have a good one. It's been fun.